Hi everyone, this is Jonathan James Kramer, Content Marketing Director here at Dun and Bradstreet. Thank you for tuning in. For this podcast, I had the chance to speak to Malcom Hawker, Distinguished Architect of Master Data here at Dun and Bradstreet, who recently released a white paper entitled The Data Governance Minimum Viable Product, an agile approach to implementing your enterprise data governance program. We spoke a bit about Malcom's role here at Dun & Bradstreet, the inherent challenges of data, and the crucial role that master data plays in an organization's data governance program. Have a listen. So tell us a bit about your title, Distinguished Architect, what that means and what you do at Dun & Bradstreet, and then we'll get into the white paper you just released.
Happy to. Thank you. So my title is Distinguished Architect. At D&B, I'm the closest thing really that we have to a consultant, right? My background is in IT leadership. I have led a large IT organization. I have led an organization responsible for the implementation of master data management solutions. I've led an organization responsible for a large CRM implementation. And my role at D&B is really to take all those experiences that I've had in the past through IT leadership, through process leadership, through engineering leadership, and be able to help D&B's clients with implementing our solutions, our data, into their processes, their workflows, their systems, because I've done that in the past. So in the past, I was a D&B customer, worked closely with D&B to figure out what's the best way to actually take this incredible volume of data, this incredible insight that D&B can provide, and integrate that into our core, into a company's core IT systems, their business processes, to get the most value that they can from their relationship with D&B. So I bring a real world and practical experience to having done this in the past, being able to kind of sit across from senior leadership in an IT organization or a business strategy or any SVP or C-level person, and be able to kind of talk eye to eye about the challenges that they've got and potential solutions that D&B has to address some of those challenges.
Okay, great. So you specialize, your main focus is master data. Can you tell us a bit about what is master data in your words and why do companies need it, and what is your, how does master data play into your daily role? Are you presenting it to people, are you explaining it, or are you helping implement it?
Sure. Master data is really the data that forms the foundation of your enterprise. So it is the core information assets that all companies have. It's the information about your customers, your contacts, your products, your contracts. It's all those core nouns that are at the heart of the operation of your business. So when you talk about master data, you're really talking about your set of trusted assets, your trusted bits of information about all of the things you need to successfully execute and run your business on a day-to-day basis. So that's very, very high level, and it sounds easy on paper, but it's very, very difficult to maintain because your organization is a very diverse environment where multiple organizations, where multiple departments in your organization, marketing, legal, finance, will all have a different way to look at a customer or a contract or a product. They'll all have their own kind of definitions for how to support entities like a customer. And they'll all have different databases for managing customer information. So that data, although at a very, very high level sounds like it's all the same, when you get down into the nitty-gritty within a specific organization, the data, like a customer information, all ends up actually looking very different. So in order to support your customer in a single way, in order to support your digital transformation or your marketing goals or your corporate strategy or whatever it is, you need to have a cohesive approach to managing both the data and your interaction with those customers. The way you do that is through the application of master data competencies, right? Having a common structure, a common definition, a common set of quality metrics that you can apply to be able to say, this is how we define a customer at a corporate level, enterprise-wide. So that's really what master data is all about. It's allowing you to take your data that you've got, take all the information that you've got about the specific things in your organization that you need to manage, and be able to find a way to scale that data, to be able to find a way to use that data, to monetize it, to operationalize it, to fulfill your corporate strategies.
Okay, excellent. That was a very succinct explanation. So let's get into the data governance minimum viable product, MVP. This is your new white paper where you talk about an agile approach to implementing your enterprise data governance program. So tell us a bit about data governance. I know it's a very broad discipline that covers, so many different aspects of a business and a data environment, the data universe. So can you tell us a bit of what is data governance and how does master data relate to it? And then a bit what inspired you to write this white paper?
Sure. Data governance is a very, very broad topic, but at its core, it's the policies and procedures and systems that you need to put into place in order to effectively manage and operationalize your data assets, right? So it's the rules of the road where your data is concerned, right? At a very basic level, and it covers things like who can create customer records in your CRM system, who can create a new product in your ERP system, what are the rules for the management of that data, how long do you keep it, who can see it, very, very basic things that a lot of companies actually struggle with, right? So companies are very, very good at the things that they do well, right? Maybe if you're a manufacturing company, you tend to be good at manufacturing. If you are a retail services company, you're good at retail. If you're logistics, you're good at logistics. But a lot of companies struggle with the basics around managing data. That's where governance comes into play. It's the rules of the road for how you actually manage your core information assets within your company. Doing that well is actually incredibly important in order for you to get any value out of that data. So all companies are generating incredible amounts of data these days, more and more data than there ever has been before. Right? The 3 V's, the volume, velocity, and variety of data is increasing exponentially, and that's not stopping. It's increasing because of things like companies doing digital transformations, capturing more information online about their interactions with customers. It's things like the IoT, where there's more data that are being generated by systems and sensors and products and all sorts of other things that are creating tons and tons of data. And companies need to have a strategic approach, and they need to have a programmatic approach for managing all of that data. That's where governance comes into play. The idea of an MVP is really just kind of a play on, agile software methodologies, agile development methodologies. Everybody wants to be agile. Everybody wants to, be moving quickly and responding to their customers' needs. So that's kind of where I took a play on MVP and said, okay, if you're going to do data governance, and everybody needs to, what's the kind of the minimum that you need to do to succeed in the short run, right? I'm not talking about all the things that you need to do within a governance program, because that could take hours and hours and weeks and years and years. And many companies have been doing it for years and they're still trying to figure it out. But what are the few things that you need to focus on to get right? What are the 4 or 5 things that if you're going to do it, what are the things that you need to get right now in order to build a program that can scale into the future? That's the concept behind the MVP.
And now would you say that, going back to master data, and that's probably one of the core things that a data governance program needs, right? If you need to be speaking the same language, your systems need to be able to communicate, and you have to be confident that the data is correct. Is that a big part of your paper?
Yeah, exactly. So you touched on a couple of things there, right, from a master data perspective. How do your systems talk together? How do you have a common definition of a customer, right? So for the remainder of this conversation, I'll just pick on customer. I'll choose customer because everybody has customers. Without customers, you don't have a business. So for the purpose of the remainder of the chat, I'll just keep touching on customers, but that the idea behind behind data governance and behind the MVP is that in order to execute a master data strategy, right, in order to be able to say, I have confidence that the information that I'm looking at it is accurate information, represents a single view of this customer, right? That's a master data strategy is needed to develop those confidences, to develop that data, to give you the insight that you need in order to execute your business strategy. So governance and master data are hand in hand. Governance defines the policies and procedures in order to succeed at master data. Master data is typically more describes the programmatic approach to the implementation of data governance policies and procedures. So they are hand in hand. They exist symbiotically with each other. You couldn't successfully implement master data and a master data program without having policies and procedures that define how you're going to handle that data. So they're intrinsically intertwined.
This has been a Dun and Bradstreet podcast. Be sure to click the link below to get your copy of Malcolm's white paper, The Data Governance Minimum Viable Product, an agile approach to implementing your enterprise data governance program. Thank you for listening.